And there I was. I was the girl from Suits.
This One's Wife. Blink, blink. Ninja hands. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This One's Wife appeared on a podcast with Emma Greed, the Aspire podcast, and it's provided a wealth of material to demonstrate various manipulations utilised by This One's Wife, principally revolving around the telling of lies and the revisions of history. I'm now going to play for you a longer clip, if you can bear it, and what I want you to do as you watch this is to keep an eye on what This One's Wife is doing. For instance, I want you to keep an eye out for the number of occasions where she blinks rapidly, where she chops the air with her oversized man hands like a pissed up ninja. I want you to look at how many occasions she glances away up to the side. I want you to keep an eye on the strange facial expressions that she exhibits. What's coming out of her mouth? Well, it's the usual nonsense, and I'll touch on that after you've watched the clip. But I want you to focus on her mannerisms for the next few minutes. Do watch this.
Urgency. Most of the women that I spoke to are working moms, and this is
That's a big deal.
Yes. And this is such a key age. I don't want to miss a moment for my children. And I love that I can do drop off and pick up at school and do meetings in between and go to Disneyland for 2 days, as we just did. And, you know, volunteer to serve hot lunch at school or be the chaperone for the kindergarten field
you're
trip.
So good. You're making me look so bad.
No, stop that.
I never volunteer.
Well, you can start.
No, I cannot. I don't want to.
Well, then you're listening.
But you know, this is, and I think that this is a really important point because people often say to me, you know, Emma, like, is it bad that I go and drop my kids every day? Is it bad that I want to volunteer? I'm like, no, you have to do what you want to do.
What feels right
You
for
have
you.
to do the thing that makes your heart sing in the morning. For me, it's like, I don't want to volunteer, so I don't. But there's lots of other things that for me are just non-negotiables, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I like to put my kids' outfits together. I'm crazy about their packed lunches. Now, I don't pack them, but it's like, I know what's in every lunch every day because that's just the type of person I am.
I
so
love
you have
packing
to
the
choose.
lunchbox.
You do?
Yes.
Oh,
that's like...
Stop it, Meghan. No, you don't. Do you
Yes,
do
I
it?
do.
Lisa, do you like make shapes and like make it look all beautiful? Is it a sprinkle situation? Are we putting?
Sometimes.
Oh my God.
I love...
My kids are all going to move into your house.
No, stop. I think, but look, to your point, like that sounds ridiculous, but I love it. At the end of a long day, the kids are down to bed at like 7-ish. I can go downstairs, have a glass of wine. I'm doing their little lunch, but I find joy in it for whatever reason.
And it can be therapeutic.
Yes. So that for me is one of my simple pleasures. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that works for me. What works for you works for you. But I think with all of the projects that I had going at the same time and how much the valuation that I put on time with my family is so high.
It's critical.
It matters so much to both my husband and I that, I just wouldn't trade that for anything. And so I think it's really important to have that conversation with yourself, especially if you're ambitious, to say, all of these things are exciting to me and I can do all of them well enough. Mm-hmm. But can you do all of them exceptionally well? No, probably not. No. Something is going to not get the same love and attention that it needs. And so to be able to say, what's my focus right now? My family always and growing as ever. And to be able to be so committed to those two things fills my cup in a very different way because there's time for the rest of it.
Yeah, there's going to be time. Yeah. There's nothing in you, though, that's like, oh, there's like this little thing over here that I could possibly do because I struggle with that. I love starting new projects. And a new project for me, it's like very, very, very hard to turn down.
Yeah.
So, and again, I say the same thing to you. It's like when you have so much opportunity, it must be difficult to just go like, that's not a priority.
I mean, I love the creation stage. Mm-hmm. So yes, now that I can see with more dedicated focus on the brand, knowing our trajectory, looking at the business plan, being able to pinpoint where these key moments are going to be, I can also very comfortably say, as this continues to grow to where I want it to scale, what's my next thing going to be? Mm. Because that dreaming phase and daydreaming,
key.
It's really key, I think, to keep your creative juices flowing. And that doesn't go anywhere. And I think a lot of that is what I'm excited about for the next phase.
What's the common thread as you were going through Confessions of a Female Founder? What do you think the common thread was with the entrepreneurs that you interviewed in terms of like successful founders, the way they think about strategy? Did you find anything that you were like, they all have this?
They all, no matter their background, they all were incredibly focused. They all have regrets. They all have regrets. Most of them regretting not spending more time with their family.
Plenty of unusual mannerisms, aren't there? We have her talking about how apparently she volunteers. But did you notice that before she mentions about volunteering and being a chaperone for kindergarten school trips, there's a pause and there's rapid blinking? This is a fabrication. It's a revision of history. It's bringing up the fabricated past in the now, in the podcast interview, to enable her to assert control over the interviewer and over the audience. It isn't as you might think because she knows that she's telling a lie. What's happening is that because she's not that accomplished, not that articulate, not that intelligent, and her narcissism isn't that evolved and smooth, there's a hesitation when there's a gap in the information. This creates anxiety on her part. She then starts with the rapid blinking, or chopping the air with her hands, or looking away up to the side. Ordinarily, people would think, she's telling a lie and she knows she is. That might be applicable for a non-narcissist, but remember, for her lies are her truth, and what's actually happening is that you're seeing a slight glitch by her narcissism as it fights to find the relevant information. It's like on your computer when, if you have, for instance, an iMac, that coloured ball appears while it's processing and you can't do anything. It's similar for her. The narcissism is whirring away in the background, trying to find a suitable response to continue to maintain control or nullify the threat to control or to draw fuel, etc. And while it's doing that, she experiences anxiety because she's not able to respond immediately. Thus, we get the rapid eye blinking, the looking away to the side, and the chopping of the air. She doesn't volunteer. She doesn't chaperone for the kindergarten school trip. Those are fabrications. You'll notice the false enthusiasm for how she loves packing the lunch boxes, even though, of course, in the Billie Eilish video, she had no idea what the lunchbox actually was. You see the over-exaggerated response with regard to the suggestion by the host that she uses flour sprinkles in them. We then get another instance of the glitching when she talks about what happens in the evening, when she says 7-ish. She's not certain. And she talks about what she's doing with regard to the creation of the children's packed lunches. I find joy in it. That stock phrase of hers, finding the joy, once again demonstrating that this is an unimaginative, dull individual that falls back on these hackneyed phrases. She talks about how she values projects as against time with her family, making it seem like she's this very industrious woman. And yet, once again, the truth demonstrates she never sees anything to completion, and everything that she touches fails. She, once again, advances the facade of being a family person, but we all know that that's not accurate because she spends a lot of time away from the children, and she admitted recently that she's had a nanny for the last 5 years. Notice once again the objectification of Harry, as she makes reference to him as my husband, and I, never Harry, my husband, the possessive nature of the narcissist. And she talks about how her family and growing as ever are what causes her to be committed to filling her cup. Once again, these ridiculous phrases that she's seen elsewhere, and by way of character trait acquisition, she replicates. We then get a whole spiel of word salad as she talks about trajectory and inserting things into business plans, etc. It's all waffle because there is no substance to this woman. But whilst one would not want to watch the entirety of this podcast, the excerpt that I've selected for you there is interesting because it demonstrates once again how her narcissism is playing catch-up to try and fill the gaps by inventing things for her to talk about. And we know that it's invented because of the delay and the over-exaggerated mannerisms that she displays as we see the blink blink and the ninja hands. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for watching.